Good morning. We're here in the studio in Johannesburg where I'm having an interesting conversation with Michal Brink, CEO of CMO International. Good morning, Michal.
Good morning, Marius. Nice to be here with you.
Michal, we've heard a lot in the media, especially in Namibia, about a new product that you are launching there. Please tell us why you've developed a product specifically for the charcoal industry, not only in Namibia but also in South Africa.
Marius, CMO is a company that's involved in the forestry space, in the forest industry. And taking a step back, we see that the way that business is being done in the world today has changed profoundly over the last decade, 15, 20 years even. And the big change that's come in is that money is not the only thing driving business. And the environment and social issues are finding an equal space within the framework of doing good business. In the case of CMO, we've embarked on a specific process of supplying a solution to smallholders who would like to produce their forest products in a responsible way. And to do that, you need to be certified. And that certification is done under the Forest Stewardship Council, standing for the FSC, an international body. And within CMO, we've been able to now embrace forest certification for smallholders in Namibia and many parts of the world, where they can now be part of the system in a cost-effective way and at scale.
You say cost-effective. Isn't certification expensive and a daunting exercise?
Absolutely, Marius. That's what's generally seen in the market. But what we've done is we've been able to break out of that mold by using technology and by ensuring that we don't over-design the systems that we put in place for the smallholders. The implication of that is that we can now scale. And for the first time in the world, forest certification has become simple, affordable, and scalable.
That's very interesting. But now tell me, why did you decide to start in Namibia?
So with all these certification schemes that we've developed across the world, and in Namibia in particular, we realized that there's a mismatch between buyers and sellers. So we are now producing responsible, our members are producing responsible product, charcoal in particular in Namibia. But there are a lot of buyers out there and they cannot find the sellers.
But how will the buyer find somebody that's going to sell the product?
So up to now, it's been on an ad hoc basis, and that's very difficult. There's charcoal lying in Namibia. You know, our group scheme produces 90,000 tons of charcoal through the smallholders per year in Namibia. And this charcoal needs to be made available and be transparent enough for a buyer to be aware that it's there. So the way that we've now done it is that we've said we get so many calls of people asking, well, how many of your members have got charcoal? We want FSC charcoal. Who should we contact? And then we realized that there's a huge gap in the market of combining and matching buyers and sellers. And that's why we've created this product. And the reason that we started in Namibia was because that's where this journey started for us in January 2018, when we embarked on developing group schemes that we run. And we really understand that market. We understand the value chain. We've got nearly 300 farmers in Namibia who are all producing charcoal, producing, as I said, 90,000 tons of FSC charcoal a year. We understand who they sell to in the processing side, and we know who the buyers are in Europe. So starting with charcoal and starting in Namibia really makes a lot of sense.
Now, interesting, we've heard about the product suddenly of ForestTrader. Just put us in picture, what is ForestTrader? How will that help a farmer who needs to sell his product?
So what is ForestTrader? ForestTrader is the Amazon.com for FSC certified forest products worldwide. It's going to be expanding. Of course, we've just launched in Namibia and it's focusing on charcoal. But in time, it's going to be moving into all forest products, but they have to be FSC certified.
Let's just stop there. We talk about forest products. In my mind, when I see a forest product, I think of a field where you've got these big trees and then they make pulp of that. Just explain to us, what is a forest product?
So, Marius, there are thousands of forest products out there, and some of them are timber products. Like in Namibia, we are thinning out encroached bush. We are doing forest restoration to improve the ecosystems, and the wood that's coming out is converted into charcoal. In South Africa, for example, we've got smallholders growing eucalyptus trees in small plots and selling those trees onto large corporations such as Mondi and Sappi. And in that case, the product is pulpwood, like the one that you mentioned. In another case, you may be producing saw timber. There are also non-timber forest products. You may be producing honey on a forest, and that honey can also be sold under the FSC system.
That's very interesting. Now, you say that ForestTrader is technologically linked.
Yes.
Now we think of a farmer who's sitting up in a farm somewhere in the rural areas, and now suddenly we drop on his lap new technology to be used. How will that take place?
So, firstly, how does the ForestTrader work? We've got buyers.
Yes.
So you register on the platform as a buyer.
Mm.
You register on the platform as a seller.
Mm.
Or you can do both. You register as a trader. And once you've registered, you as a seller would then add your product that's available onto the platform. The buyers will be able to view that, to bid on it, to close out a bid, and then be able to acquire the volumes in a very transparent and seamless way, where at the moment it's totally ad hoc and people are not finding each other. So coming to the technology side, because we're running a group scheme, our group schemes are totally paperless. It's already running on apps. So all our farmers, more or less 300 of them in Namibia, are running on smartphones. There are some of the people who don't have the capability on the technical side, where they don't have a smartphone, but I can tell you it's absolutely the minority. So the migration of a group scheme member to a ForestTrader registered person is quite seamless for people on our group schemes in the FSC world, because they already have the technology. And we've put people in place to take that farmer by the hand and guide him or her through the process of actually becoming certified, registered on ForestTrader.
So you're not throwing somebody in the deep and now suddenly sit with an app and he doesn't know how to use this app.
Absolutely not, because we've got to make it easier. We've got to make it convenient for the farmer who is selling the product, as well as for the buyer who would like to obtain more FSC material.
Now, is there a cost involved if I want to use this app suddenly on my small little farm where I'm making charcoal? I'm a small farmer. Can I get involved and can I use the app as well?
Absolutely. So as far as the requirements are concerned, firstly, there's no cost to register. We just take a small fee of 1.2% of the value of the trade. That's less than a credit card transaction, Marius. So it really is affordable. You don't pay if you don't sell, and if you sell, of course, then it's affordable to pay the commission that needs to be paid. As far as size is concerned and product, ForestTrader has no limitations. You can sell any amount that you wish.
Small or large?
Small or large, and the buyers can bid on any amount, small or large. And
so if I just want 10 ton, I can bid on 10 ton and get that? Or are there limits that need to be taken into account?
No limits whatsoever. It's market driven. So if you look at that buyer who wants 10 tons, he can actually offer a supplier who has put 30 tons on the system and put in an offer for 1/3 of the product that's on the platform.
Now, interesting. Can I, if I'm a farmer with my product certified by FSC, can I sell that in America or in Europe, for instance? Because it's daunting to think of exporting to overseas countries.
The big thing about the charcoal industry that we've entered now with ForestTrader in Namibia is, of course, that industry is very old. What's new is the fact that we're wanting to change behavior by making it easier for buyers and sellers to trade. That is new. But the actual export of charcoal into the USA and into the whole European Union and other parts of the world, that whole process is very well established. It's in place, and there's nothing that we have to change in that respect. The only thing that is added now is that trade is going to take place more seamlessly and more transparently, and a lot more peace of mind for both buyer and seller, that nobody is going to lose money by someone not staying to the commitments that they've made in the contract.
You earlier said that the system is paperless. I know that is a movement in the world to do things paperless. But how does that work? How will that work for me as a small farmer? How do I keep record of my stuff?
Well, if we're looking at the group schemes, we've got a very, very simple system of what record keeping needs to be done for the farmer in the first place to be FSC certified. And coming to ForestTrader, once the person is registered, with us having capacity in Otjiwarongo in Namibia, for example, in the Namibian case, to help that farmer to be registered, after that it's seamless because the farmer is on the system, and all that needs to be done every time he's got a load or 2 loads of charcoal, he or she will add it to ForestTrader through a few clicks, and then he or she will be, in fact, what happens is that a WhatsApp is sent through to all the buyers. Here's a load of charcoal that you could bid on if you wish to have it. And then, of course, if a buyer is interested, he will then contact that seller, and the transaction process will then commence.
You said, so in other words, those products are FSC certified, and they must have a certification on the bags, for instance, else it won't be available for selling.
Yes, so FSC is a mark of responsible forest management, and especially in the European Union, it's impossible to sell charcoal that's not FSC certified because of a whole lot of rules and regulations that are in place in Europe today that makes it, in fact, illegal to buy timber that may originate from an area of deforestation or where the timber has been cut illegally. So it's illegal to import that into Europe. And FSC allows the buyers in Europe to have the peace of mind that the charcoal that they are buying meets the requirements of importing into Europe.
I'm a farmer in Namibia. Who do I contact and where do I get information to get that app on my phone?
Well, at the end of this podcast, you will see the details of our contact telephone numbers for the people in Namibia. And of course, you can also go to our website, which is cmogroup.io. And between the telephone and the website, we're on standby to help our farmers.
Thank you very much, Michal, and I wish you everything of the best.
Thank you.
Another production from Solid Gold Podcasts.